Welcome, travelers and deal seekers. Today we're delving into the digital realm of Priceline.com, a go-to platform for snagging the best travel deals and accommodations. And more than just a website, Priceline.com has become synonymous with smart and budget-friendly travel planning. But here's the twist. Priceline.com is evaluating and potentially overhauling its user agreement, and I, as your guide, have been assigned to dissect and analyze Part 1 of their terms and conditions. Before we dive in, I want to make it clear that this video is for educational purposes only, as I hold no legal authority, and should you be in the process of evaluating user agreements or terms of use agreements, please seek certified professional expertise. Now buckle up as we unravel the complexities of the validity of a contract, user binding to an agreement, dispute resolution, and personal recommendations. The first thing Priceline is interested in is there terms of use a valid contract as it stands? Well, terms of use, also known as terms and conditions, are a set of rules and guidelines established by a website, application, or service that outline the terms under which users are allowed to access and use the platform. These terms are a legal agreement between the user and the owner or operator of the website or service. They typically cover a wide range of topics, and they can vary depending on the nature of the platform, but common elements include acceptance of terms, privacy policies, dispute resolution, limitation of liability, termination of service, and updates and changes. It's crucial for users to read and understand the terms of use of any platform that they engage with, as it governs the legal relationship between the user and the service provider. Failure to comply with these terms may result in consequences such as termination of the user's account or legal action. Now, to determine the validity of the user agreement as a contract, we need to consider essential elements such as offer, acceptance, and consideration. For a contract to be valid, there must be a clear offer by one party and an acceptance of that offer by another. In the context of online platforms, the act of using a website or service may be considered acceptance of the terms. However, the terms must be presented in clear and understandable language, and the users need to be reasonably aware of these terms. Now, this can be achieved through methods such as prominently displaying the terms on the website, requiring users to click through or agree to them explicitly, which we will discuss shortly, and providing users with the opportunity to review the terms before accepting them. Now, if the terms are overly complex or ambiguous, it might affect their enforceability. Therefore, in my unprofessional opinion, the Priceline.com terms and conditions is not a valid contract because though the text may be clear and understandable, there is more often than not a lack in consumer notification of said terms, which negates mutual consent. Now let's address the I agree button, that familiar click that we all perform without much thought. Priceline.com would like to know, should visitors be bound to the terms automatically, or is there a case for requiring explicit consent through the I agree button? Well, in the realm of digital interactions, the requirement for users to actively click I agree to terms of use agreements is essential for several reasons. This practice ensures informed consent, it acknowledges user autonomy, promotes clarity and transparency, addresses legal and ethical concerns, and it enhances overall user satisfaction. Requiring an affirmative action fosters trust and contributes to a fair and accountable digital environment, aligning with the principles that prioritize user rights and choices. In utilizing the website myself, I initially would be unaware of such boundaries, though they may find it my responsibility to be informed, and I would not want to be automatically bound to this agreement for which I am completely unaware of its understandings. Now, a burning question that many of us have is, if a dispute rises, can you sue Priceline.com? Well, the answer lies within the arbitration and dispute resolution section, which we will dissect the language and intricacies involved, discussing whether users have the option to pursue legal action or if they are bound to alternative dispute resolution methods. The devil is in the details, and we are here to uncover them. In some instances, you may be able to sue if you signed a valid arbitration agreement, and Priceline states that any and all claims must be resolved by binding arbitration or in small claims court, and this prevents you from pursuing a class action or similar proceeding in any form. These limitations apply to any claims against Priceline, its subsidiaries or affiliates, any travel service providers or companies offering products or service through the site, etc. And while courts generally favor arbitration agreements, they will allow you to file a lawsuit if either you didn't understand your rights or your claim falls outside of the arbitration provision scope, thus making arbitration the first step in dispute resolution with escalation possibilities depending on the scope of your dispute with Priceline. Now, moving on to the exciting part, what changes would I recommend? Well, from making the terms more user-friendly to enhancing transparency, I'll propose modifications that could benefit both Priceline.com and its users. After all, a well-crafted user agreement should be a two-way street. So with Pricelines.com's terms of use as it stands, it is well constructed, but it does not gain the attention of users in ways that it should. The first recommendation that I have is regarding clarity by avoiding jargon or legalese that might confuse its users. If legal terms are necessary, provide clear explanations, such as their section on arbitration, which is a dispute alternative resolution, rather than just stating that it's necessary. Second, I would implement an I agree button or checkbox to explicitly signify user consent. This helps establish a clear indication that users have read and accepted the terms. I also find it essential to clearly state the circumstances under which the platform can terminate a user's account or access to the service, and providing users with a fair notice period and reasons for termination where applicable. Lastly, consider creating a user-friendly guide that accompanies these detailed terms, as well as providing additional resources for frequently asked questions, aka FAQs, to help users better understand the terms and emphasize user education. But there you have it, a deep dive into part 1 of Priceline.com's terms and conditions. As the digital landscape evolves, so should the agreements that govern it, and whether you're a seasoned traveler or a frequent online shopper, understanding these terms is crucial. Remember, this video is for educational purposes only, and I hold no legal authority. Thank you for watching, and remember that staying informed is staying empowered.